Hello students, today we will discuss about character of Diggory Van. Okay, Diggory Van is the most interesting character in the Return of the Native. He is the only character in the novel whose luck favors him, and he not only wins the lady he loves most, but his financial position is also elevated. From a rattleman, he becomes the owner a dairy farm. He succeeds in marrying Thompson, though after the death of her first husband, Bilde. In this sense, he resembles Gabriel Oak, who succeeds in marrying with Sahava Everden after the death of Francis Troy. He is one of the stoic heroes of Hardy. He is a thread of importance in the closely woven fabric of the novel. He adds an element of grotesque to it. Okay. First, physical features. In chapter 2 of book 1, we find a description of his picture drawn in the following words. He was young, and his face, if not exactly handsome, approached so near to handsome that nobody would have contradicted an assertion that it really was so in its natural color. His eyes, which glared so strangely through his stain, was in itself attractive, keen as that of a bird of prey and blue as autumn mist. He had the lower part of his face to be apparent, his lips birchen, and though he, as it seemed, compressed by thought. There was a pleasant twitch at their corners now and then. He was clothed throughout in a tight-fitting suit of corduroy, excellent in quality, not much worn, and well chosen for its purpose, but deprived of its original color by his trade. It showed to advantage the good shape of his figure. A certain well-to-do air about the man suggested that he was not poor for his degree. Why should such a promising being as this have hidden his prepossessing exterior by adopting the singular occupation? Next, a profession. Diggory Van was originally a small dairy farmer but became a rattleman for a frack after Thompson declined his suit by assigning him the role of rattleman, a practitioner of a dying trade. Hardy might seem to be emphasizing the positive values of a disapproving way of life. It is because of his being in dying trade that his body and clothes are always red. He was one of a class rapidly become extinct in Wessex, filling at present in the rural world the place which during the last century he Dodo occupied in the world of animals. He is a curious, interesting, and nearly perished link between obsolete forms of life and those which generally prevail. All the close of the story, Diggory goes back to dairy farming. He has got rid of his red exterior and resumed his normal place in the social life. Next, his kinship with Eden Heath. Diggory is as much the man of Eden Heath as Clem is. If Clem is the child of Eden Heath, the rattleman is its split like Thompson. He knows Eden thoroughly, and it has no terror for him, either of a practical or an imaginative kind. He knows every nook and corner of the heath. and spends practically all his time on it. He compels the powers of nature into his service, as C. Duffin writes about him. The Raddleman used the secrecy and the weapons of the heat in his private war and wildly, and when gambles for the £100 on Eden at dead on night. It is by the light of a circle of glowworms that they throw the dice, while the wilded heat ponies still up shadow like to watch the game. Next, unselfish lover. The most remarkable feature. Nice. Of Gregory Van is his lasting devotion to Thompson. Like Gabriel Oak of Far From the Madding Crowd, he is an unaggressive and unselfish lover. His offer of marriage with Thompson has been repeatedly rejected both by Thompson and her aunt, Mrs. Ebright, but he does not feel the least annoyed. He does all that he can do to please Thompson. After Thompson's marriage with William, the only aim of his life is to see her cheerful. When Christian Cantle loses the 100 guineas to William, Gregory Van wins them back and gives them to Thompson, for Christian was told to deliver them to Thompson and Clem equally. When he comes to know of William's wandering round Eustatia's house, he frightens him with the fire of the gun. It is because of his constant and sincere love for Thompson that she is drawn to him, and says to Clem if she ever marries, she will marry only Gregory Van. Next, resourcefulness. Gregory's basic qualities, like those of Gabriel Oak, are an acquaintance as extreme as it could be without working on craft, and a power to rest circumstances. This acquaintance is used several times in order to circumvent William, but always with a positive aim. It forces him to give up the purloined guineas and to behave decently to Thompson. Disinterestedness in love so extreme that Eustacia almost thought it absurd, and he is the only person who shows any common sense in the final catastrophe. When Eustacia and Clem and Wiley all flying themselves recklessly into the pool, Clem's life is saved only because of his presence of mind. At the end of the story, Hardy shows Gregory's adaptability in selling Raddle. He was practicing a once useful and necessary trade, but now that trade has become outmoded, and so he has returned to dairy farming. This shows his power to break out of his fixed role and adapt himself to progress. Last, a conclusion. To conclude, it can be said that when possesses the qualities of passive firmness, self-training, faithfulness, and patient watchfulness, Hardy holds these values high in his esteem and associates them with the intimacies and the routines of agricultural life. He has been making efforts to win the heart of Thompson since the beginning of the novel, and he succeeds in the end because of his devotion to her. Marianne Williams rightly sums up Gregory's character in the following words. This white character, although he appears to have come from a realm outside nature, actually very much like Gabriel Oak, he is essentially kind and unselfish, devoted to the woman he loves, even when there seems no hope of getting her. And like Thompson, thoroughly well adapted to life on the heath. At certain times, particularly in the remarkable scene where he plays dice with Wildave by the light of glowworms, we feel that he has powers which are not quite human. Nature seems to work on his side because he understands and knows how to relate to it. And like Gabriel, he has his reward at the end of the novel when most of the characters are broken or die.